need a saying. Come quench my thirst, Lord, because you're like water for the thirsty. I drink. You're like water for the thirsty. I drink. You're like water for the thirsty. I drink. Water for the thirsty. I drink.
It's like water for the thirsty. Truthfully, our souls parched. You won't find them when you seek them with your whole heart. It's so hard to stay consistent through the word I'm reading. Cause the time is coming soon when every eye gon' see him in the clouds above. This is about a love that quenches the thirst, but the world offers is not enough. Taste and see from this fountain spring, you'll be lining up to get a drink, refreshing ink flowing out of cups. This life they gotta touch, to liberate them out of cuffs. The faith is undivided trust, created us up out of dust. He's worthy of fresh well of living water for the thirsty. Give her honor the first thing that I do when I'm waking up. It's everlasting life to all who decide to drink it
You're
up.
like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. You're like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. Like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. You're like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. Been a hard weekend, it left me high and dry. I've been going through the ringer, I need you in my life. Times seem crazy, I'm stranded in the desert. This life gets so hot, I need a sip of you, God. Cause you're like water when I'm thirsty, yeah. Drink, drink. You're like water when I'm thirsty. Drink, drink. Ooh. It's warm down here. It's hard to breathe. It's burning my eyes, Lord. So hard to see. I'm quite parched now. I need a saying. Come quench my thirst, Lord, because you're like water for the thirsty. I drink. You're like water for the thirsty. I drink. You're like water for the thirsty. I drink. Water for the thirsty, I drink.
It's like water for the thirsty. Truthfully, our souls parched. You won't find them when you seek them with your whole heart. It's so hard to stay consistent through the word I'm reading. Cause the time is coming soon when every eye gon' see him in the clouds above. This is about a love that quenches the thirst, but the world offers is not enough. Taste and see from this fountain spring, you'll be lining up to get a drink, refreshing ink flowing out of cups. This life they gotta touch, to liberate them out of cuffs. The faith is undivided trust, created us up out of dust. He's worthy of fresh well of living water for the thirsty. Give her honor the first thing that I do when I'm waking up. It's everlasting life to all who decide to drink it
You're
up.
like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. You're like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. You're like water when I'm thirsty. Drink. Like water when I'm thirsty. when I'm thirsty. Drink.
Good night, everybody. Welcome to Water for the Thirsty. My name is Jared. I'm the host facilitator for our conversation tonight. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Water for the Thirsty is just a forum meant to help you get to know Jesus better for yourself. It's meant to give you tools, ideas, and resources to help you spend time in the Word, make sense of the Word, and apply the Word to your life. That's why our system is study, inquire, dialogue, apply, and then share. With us tonight, our regular crew rejoining us after a nice summer, spring vacation, spring break, and all of that good stuff. Feels like summer, that's why I said summer, but it's actually spring, but it does feel like summer. 80
A lot of
degrees.
hail today.
I didn't see, I was inside, I didn't get any hail. But yeah, with us tonight is Shonice.
Hi.
And Sharika. Shonice's role, keep us from going too far left. Sharika's role, keep us honest. Kenrick is taking us leftward. Also with us tonight for the first time.
So not like Barney left.
No, not like Bernie left.
You said Barney left?
Barney left?
No, not Bernie left.
Okay.
No,
That's a safe left.
Just left of center. Wherever that is.
I'm going,
Yeah, wherever that is.
I was like, what does Barney have to do?
Not Barney.
Bernie, I heard it. I feel the burn.
And also with us tonight for the first time is Eustace and Taylor Laurie. They are, well, she is. They go to church with us. They go to church with us. I'm gonna just leave it there for now.
That works.
That works, that's good.
Yeah, so where we are, we're following a reading plan that we created. You can download it in the iOS store or the Google Play store or at the website waterforthethirsty.com if you like PDFs and want to print it out. And the reading plan has us currently in the book of 1 Corinthians. We finished Joshua and I'm now heading into Judges, and we're in Kenrick's favorite book, the book of Psalms, which he probably hasn't read, and we're at chapter 76.
He's
But that's
never
okay.
I
touched
think it's up like 80, right? I thought it was 80.
Yeah, we might be close.
Are we that high?
We're about 70 something days into, because it's beginning of the year. Yeah.
No, why don't we go with the Proverbs 75.
Yeah, we did do Proverbs, so it's
And then we end on 80.
probably many days minus Proverbs. Yeah, so that's where our conversation is coming from. We're just regular people. We just want to get to know Jesus better, and that's what these conversations are meant to do. We're inviting you, if you're looking on live.waterforthethirsty.com or Facebook Live, to join in the chat at any point. Sharika's following one, I'm following the other, and we'd like to hear your inputs, your conversations with us tonight. So we're going to get started, join the conversation. Sharika, you're on point.
That's right. It's been a long time.
Nah, player. So guess what? The first one that came to mind, I had this conversation with somebody the other day. It's in 1 Corinthians, but it's related to Genesis. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, the principles for marriage.
Uh-oh.
Lord.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't really care about the principles, to be quite honest. I'm do my own thing. No, I'm joking.
No, you're not.
Slightly. So it's talking more so about the equality of the system. You know, like if you're gonna, first of all, we don't think you should have sex relationship with a woman anyway. But if you are, let you have your own and let that other person have their own and treat each other equally and don't withhold this from each other. Blah 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 blah. Which is great. But in Genesis, one of the curses, per se, of the woman was that you will now desire your husband and he shall rule over you. So nobody cares about the ruling part. But the desire part. So does that mean at some point I did not desire the husband? Like I was just, like that was never my thing. It's like, yeah, I can take you or leave you. It is what it is. Cool, whatever. And now that I kind of have to, let's play nice in chapter 7.
I need you to restate that question. Yeah, you get it. You get it?
I completely got it.
Yeah, because she's a woman.
Because I have the answer. Because I have the answer.
All right, well, we'll get to the answer. Did you get it?
Wait, got the answer.
Did you get it?
I'm with you.
Okay.
All
Alright, I'm gonna start over.
I was like,
I'm gonna start over then, right? So the principles of marriage are in chapter 7.
Okay.
Husband, don't do this.
Right.
Wife, don't do that. Treat each other equally. You have yours, I have mine. If you want some of mine, I should give you some and vice
We
versa.
talking about
right?
we talking about sex.
Well, I think it's all the principles.
all
I think that's a primary principle.
Just connectivity.
Right. This
Yeah.
we equal.
Alright, there you
This you mine, I'm yours. We work this out.
Right.
Selflessness.
Sure. Call it that. But
Interdependence.
in Genesis, one of the curses for women was you shall now desire your husband. It was clear. It called it out.
Yes.
Like now, this is something
It
that
was a curse.
It's a curse.
Yes, it is. It was a
It was
curse.
part of the curse.
It's part of the curse.
So, can you read that curse, please?
Let's read it.
Because I've never looked at
Hold
that
on,
as
I'm
a
about to give it
curse.
to you. I'm about to give it to you. Because it says you will now.
It said women, you should desire husbands.
Right. Yes, it does say that. Please hold.
Okay, I'm in.
Your desire
It's
shall be
in-
for your husband.
Yeah. See. Where is it?
Verse 5, 3, Genesis 3, 15, 16?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 16.
Boom.
Okay.
And to the woman he said, I'll make pains or in childbearing, sure. And then he goes, your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you.
Okay, my version says, this is New Living. I will sharpen your pain, blah, 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 in pregnancy, yada, 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 and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you.
That's what I'm talking about.
What your versions say?
I didn't turn there because I didn't want to. If I read it, I'm accountable.
I like that. I gotta use that more often.
So I don't know if that helps to read it from a different version.
No, that makes it even worse.
No. It gives it.
I don't agree with
I don't think her
that
version. I don't think her
I
version.
don't agree with the Bible.
No.
The version,
That's why I asked you for one of your
It's okay.
forms.
But I don't believe that's a good translation.
3:16.
Her translation.
3:16. I'm amplified, and it says, "To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your grief." Blah 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 blah. Yet your desire and craving will be for your husband, and he will rule over you.
Yes. Craving. That's, you get
That
it?
kind of goes.
No, to desire and crave
Hers
something is
was
very
like-
different than I want to control you. Like I
Well, desire
Craving,
and craving, it didn't specify what the desire
your
and craving
desires
was.
are. Craving
That
for-
one
What you're
specified.
I want you to
Like,
spend more time with me.
we
Why do you keep
can't
going
just
away?
go-
Spend more time with me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're always going away to play basketball. You're always going to do this.
Can't just hop to sexual
Right,
desire.
It's not just sexual.
You see
But
this?
it's like-
When's the last time I played basketball? Okay, I need.
But yeah, we're focusing on the wrong stuff. What I'm saying here is, it doesn't seem as if, and I happen to just read both of them at the same time. I don't know what I was doing in Genesis,
I don't either.
but it doesn't seem as if the desire was an equal thing from the beginning, and now Paul is like, well, you should try to treat each other kind of equally. You know, that makes the most sense. But in the beginning, that doesn't sound like that is what it was.
So you're saying that you don't think they desired each other, or she didn't desire the husband when they were perfect.
Right. Now that I'm not perfect,
I
didn't really
think
date them.
to understand what you're saying, I need you to use more words than desire.
nah, I'm saying it sounds as if I.
That's the fun part.
You have.
I
Like,
like
you need
What's the
to
tool?
use-
What's the Bible tools? The Bible study tool. What's the word desire there?
That's just going to be the fun
Check
part.
That's so.
Yeah,
that's
because
the
that
Hebrew.
is, you'd have to go back to the Hebrew.
Now don't let it say what I wanted to
Because
say.
it might be closer.
What do you want?
Because
to
it might,
It just sounds as if when the woman was created, it was like, it's whatever, you cool.
So you're saying.
Yeah.
So what you're saying?
Are you ready for me to answer this?
Not more so.
Are you ready?
She was.
I want to hear what
doing her
Sharice has to
thing,
say
man.
because
Are
I
you
want to
ready?
see. I want to
With
see.
or without you?
Because I'm going to disagree.
That's not but
Genesis, what?
we're living our lives.
3:16.
You can disagree
Wow.
Go ahead,
but
so,
I'm right.
go ahead, Sean. What you got?
said I'm right.
Go ahead, Shanice.
Okay.
Enlighten us while I
Okay,
look
here-
for this thing.
Now, after he finds the meaning of desire, right? Because desire is the part.
but it
There
has
was
to
a
be
healthy-
contextual within.
That's-
It's not just that one word. It's
Yeah, he's
That's
looking
what
for
it
it
is.
in
That's what I'm
the-
saying. He's looking
sentence.
for it. I'm telling you, he's looking for it. And when he comes up with it,
He got it.
and it's going to help. It's going to help you see that the word
See?
desire is not just.
What is it?
Yes, it is. It's a longing. Take that.
It's not this. It's not this positive. It's not this positive. Oh, I love you. You love me. It's like it has an intrinsic stupidity to it.
Right.
Okay, listen. So now, in order stay with
I'm
me.
not messing with y'all.
This is
In
gonna be
order
sure.
for us women in this marital relationship, the curse part is there's a certain amount of stupidity, insanity that we are going to endure in a marital relationship.
Oh, you've got to be.
Listen, because now that sin has entered the marriage, at first when Adam and Eve were put in that garden, it was like, oh, you're my husband, you're my wife. There's nothing, we don't have any issues. There are no issues here. We're good. We love each other. We're good. Now that sin is in the picture, it's easy. The desire is, I'm gonna ditch this brother. I'm gonna ditch him because he crazy and he driving me crazy. So I'm out. But as much as she wanted to leave, now she desires him.
Was it
She
420?
desires
420
him.
was yesterday.
So, and you guys see it. You know you see it.
Yeah.
When you tell your girlfriend, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Leave that brother. He's stupid. He's crazy. But God put it in us so that there would be marriages and there would be relationships, because it would not make sense otherwise. Why would I push your child's head? Have you seen a
Oh
child's
my
head?
God!
Now we're in the miracle of birth. I'm in 5th grade. Flashback. We had to watch
Because
this.
it's biblical, because it's in the same, it's biblical. The first curse was, and y'all keep saying blah, 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 childbirth. But that is no joke. Childbirth is no joke.
Don't eat the fruit.
It is horrible. But because God has put something in us, after he cursed us with the childbirth thing, who would endure pain knowing that it's coming, say, oh, I'm going to bring life in? No, that's crazy. There's intrinsic, the desire, the word desire is going to show us that there's a level of, and you can use different words, but I put a mild stupidity / insanity in order for us to keep our marriages together.
that's what should be.
And that is the curse of the woman, because there's sometimes we look at him like, man, why am I here? But he fine. So I'm gonna stay here, even though he crazy and he drive me crazy. That's it.
Does that work for you?
Now, those of you who are married, you know you can't agree with me
Well, I was asking
completely,
you. I was
but it's
asking
true.
you.
I was asking
It's
her.
true. It's true. And that's what the Bible says. It's not my opinion. It's what the Bible says.
Maybe your interpretation.
You know what I heard this week? Somebody
No,
told-
first agree or disagree with me.
First
First agree with me or disagree with me.
somebody said to their child, who is a pastor, said, I know you read your Bible more than me, I know you pray more than me, but I'm still right about and I was like, wait, no, it's here, it's there.
It doesn't. I don't get it. Like what you're saying doesn't. So could you? What's the definition?
It's longing, craving, but it's also of a beast to devour. And it references the same word is used also in Genesis 4:7.
Desire to control.
Listen.
Genesis 4:7. Read it, Ken.
I got it.
It's used 3 places in the Bible.
If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not, and if you do not do well, sin crouches at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it.
So it is somewhat of a desire to.
It's a
To
crazy-
control.
To control.
To control? Oh, okay.
So I think she said she's right.
Are you kidding me?
That's not what you said. Like everything you said,
I didn't hear that. But
you use like a million words.
I just
Control is
no,
not
and
one.
I did not use the word control. I used my keywords were
Stupidity.
stupidity
But you alluded
and
to
insanity.
Insanity.
because of stupidity and insanity, correct?
You
don't wanna say
I was trying to take you there.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah,
I'm,
he's trying to help you.
I'm trying to help you.
And I'm
promote this.
saying,
yes.
I'm saying,
You did it in light of
saying,
stupidity. And
because I'm not disagreeing. I'm not
Exactly.
disagreeing completely with
I'll take
that. I'm
that.
saying it's not just, oh, I want to control him. So no, it's an insanity.
But the control.
You're not doing what I want.
But the control-
I asked you to do this, and I can't understand why you didn't just do this. I asked you
Yeah.
not to do that. I don't understand why you did not just not do what you're not supposed to do. You
So
got
the desire.
not do what I'm supposed to do.
So it's the desire of.
And so, but I'm not going to leave. Yeah, listen, but I'm not going to leave you, even though
That has nothing to do with anything.
you didn't do what I said.
That doesn't mean anything. That's the crazy
So-
part.
It's the desire of control. It's very
Yes.
simple. It's the desire of control from the
It's not-
woman.
it's not
and
simple.
God is
It's not
saying,
that simple.
no.
you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
It's that simple.
Because as I understand it, in light of in light of the events that took place, Eve wandered. Now, at the same time, when you go back and you read as the events happen, Adam was there, but because it's like she just gave it to him. She didn't say he walked to him, but he was there. But she wandered, so she had some level of independence, and God is now saying, now some of your independence is being taken away. Some of that, so
causes
that's
insanity.
and
Craziness.
It's your control over him.
Because you're trying to control it.
Now you lost it. Now you tied it in.
Because you lost it.
Now
You know what you had.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
No, that's cool. Let's go. Some city like
And then Paul comes
I
along.
do- I agree with that.
Recalculate.
Is that
Like,
what
it's
it
No,
is?
no, I still
I'm gonna
fully
change
think
him.
what I thought.
He's gonna change. If I do this, I'm gonna stay with him, and he's gonna change. He can be different. I can make him change.
See,
Is that part of it?
Is that yes?
Okay.
Exactly.
But
And
it's kind of
that's
like-
insane.
That is
It's stupid.
insane. That is insane.
but
That's
it's
that's not what-
like
that's
when
not
you
what
think
she
of a boat
That wasn't-
and you have the
That's not what she
rudder on the boat, the man is the rudder. He's the one directing
No, ma'am.
it.
Adam, I'm gonna tell you how that's not true.
Okay, I'm saying in this situation, in this context, it's now saying the man is now taking over, for lack
Not
of a
even
better.
taking, like been given.
Yeah,
power.
has been given this, and now, in a sense, because it's like lack of English at this point, it's in a sense. Before you guys were kind of like both the rudder together. Now, unfortunately, because of the mistakes that were made, the choices,
Would you say it's a demotion?
you got a little bit demoted.
Yeah.
And so
I like
now
Came
instead
from the
of
side and now you get down to the
yeah,
Okay, did you finish?
Thank you for tying that.
Because we jump in and out.
yeah. I'm just saying, like it was a little bit of a
They don't
demotion.
know.
I lack of power, and I'm not gonna disagree with the motion. I'm just trying to say the lack of the full power that you had. Like we still have the power to, like, the man is the head, but the woman's the neck. We still have the power to turn and twist, but it used to be where
was that in the Bible?
I will tell you every single example why I wish that is true. Let me
think-
start from the top.
I don't think that's biblical.
It is. It is completely seen in every single powerful man or form of man. Mothers too.
When I say
Solomon in the
biblical, I mean,
His
I
mother
don't
was
think
like
that's
David.
mandated by
You said
God.
my kid.
That's and that's
there you
in
go.
But I'm saying, even though God gave it as a
natural.
curse, y'all still couldn't uphold
Yeah,
it.
it's natural.
Every other person.
No. What I'm saying is that the curse was
We're
it
actually
used to be more of a full power where she
That's
was
what
like,
I just said.
I agree with you. I agree, but you said demoted.
Oh, got you.
I agree. What I'm saying is there was a
You are right.
there's a full power that we.
can't take the stress.
I'm trying to bring out the fact that Sharika's question, I'm trying to answer her question because
You
she said
got
at
it
first,
already.
are you looking at each other saying, well, I can take you and leave you? No, they really loved each other.
Where?
In the Bible.
Houseway.
In Genesis. In Adam and Eve, when
No.
they first met,
They ain't got
They
no
in
kind of
love.
love in
You got
there.
some.
You making up
some
stuff,
different versions.
and that's cool.
they were in love.
We're filling in the gaps here.
No. But
Yes,
no.
we do.
So
We fill the gaps with a lot
ultimately,
of
your question, the answer to your question is the desire that you're referencing at
And
over
being the
here
net is the curse.
in 1 Corinthians, like what you were talking about, like all that is not the same as in Genesis.
Okay.
Right.
Yes,
That's
it's
right.
two separate.
They're two separate.
On to the next thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we going back to the Corinthians thing?
You wanna-
I mean, you could
We are
stay.
commenting.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Somebody had a comment. Someone said
Andrea was begging
there was an issue in the garden. She was away from him and got in trouble. They were actually together in the garden.
Exactly.
So that's not necessarily true. Jamal says not everything in the Bible is true. I'm gonna let you have that one. Angel says mastering sin is no joke. Heb asks the question, that might be true in a marriage, but how does the desire work for a single person? And I answered, I don't know. So I wrote my
That's an
own.
official answer
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Yeah. Single person, you should have full control of your own self. You
No,
shouldn't have
I
to
mean
answer
I've
to
seen
anyone.
single people who, go down the road of mass destruction in trying to convince or change someone, and I think most women will get on that concrete path and at some point be like, man, forget this, like, and come off like there are other fish in the sea, or my mom would say there ain't no trees growing on my face. But there are other women that will carry on that path and,
Yeah, it's true.
and destroy themselves.
It's true.
I'm just saying I don't know what that is. I can't speak to that.
But isn't that? I mean, that's one of the things that women have to, like, it's become a norm now. Like, women are more independent. They got their own money. They got their own jobs. Like, we do condo development. We sell a ton of units to single females. They're much more successful than they have been, quote unquote, based upon
and in some
recent
parts of the
history of
world,
society
too.
and
And in
whatnot.
some parts of the world.
And so it continues to be that desire to control, right?
Nah, player.
Oh,
No?
See, listen.
You don't think so?
Listen. Okay, I'm not gonna even.
I
I'm not
can
gonna
speak
even
for
go
Sharika
there.
Winter.
How can you not go?
I can speak for Sharika Winter.
We can go there and we can't go here.
No. What I'm gonna
Saying
say.
that I'm the only one with the empty left hand, and we're talking about single women.
I have an empty left hand. I mean, but yeah,
That's not funny.
my
That's
heart
not
is
cute.
filled.
Don't do that anymore.
Nice.
I would not agree that is
It's a comment.
an example of control. I believe
I agree.
that that's an example of me living my life
Exactly.
until my time comes. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna disenfranchise myself or not make six figures or not buy a house because I might pick up a homie that ain't got no house, so now we got somewhere to live. At least we're good.
No, I'm
So,
not saying.
but I'm
not
saying I think a lot of people misconstrue where women are, because even as a woman now who's pretty independent, people might say I'm too independent. I don't know what that means, but if I were to meet somebody, I'm always willing to submit. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna make less than 6 figs, or I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna make you feel better about yourself. And I think we add those two up. That's what I just heard you say. Basically, like that's an opportunity to control. That's an opportunity to control my own destiny. I just don't look good broke.
I'm saying.
Like,
Put that on a t-shirt.
I won't.
Don't.
So I'm just saying
Take that
that.
data.
I'm just saying that.
Take that data.
So number one, I wasn't necessarily just putting it to money or whatnot. I was saying that all of it has contributed to a feeling from some people. I won't generalize, but for a lot of women, some women, for just
More than it used to be.
more than it used to be, to want to have more, the desire to control.
to control
And
what?
that's where-
their man in a relationship because of that. I'm just saying
I'm
that
glad conduct,
it's
'cause I wanna control the
it
man,
kind
I don't
of it's kind of coming full circle,
But
or it has come
let
full
me help
circle.
Karen. Here's an example of an instance where that happens.
You gotta say it again.
I said
When you're planning a wedding,
For the man I don't have.
the dynamics of weddings have changed such that the wedding is now about the woman, the bride, more than it is about the bridegroom. Whereas,
In Western culture.
right. But that's what I'm saying. In
Well,
Eastern
who calls
culture,
that?
Change.
hold on,
Was
hold
that
on.
again?
That's the point I'm making.
Women.
I'm making the point
Economics.
that in the Eastern culture,
That's
where
right.
this kind of stuff comes from, where that curse originated, from that side of the world, you see that shift to how the woman is calling the shots for the wedding. This is my wedding, you know, in Western culture.
Insert groom here.
Yes. I'm just using that as an example of the point that Kenrick is making. It's one instance where you see that manifesting.
But
You
here's
have
the
better
thing.
words than
I
I
think
do.
it's a twofold. So if you as a
He
man
disagrees.
decide to say, "Oh, I'm going to make it be about you," you decided to pull out all interest. I don't see. What I'm not seeing nowadays is, yes, there are women who are interested. A lot of girls grow up watching the fairy tales. They got the white dress or whatever. But there are men who are just disinterested in it. So you can't say it's about her if you don't even care what color shirt you wear.
Well, the guys are
So
no
it's
different
not.
than David.
But it's
like,
but
he
it's
just wants a
no.
bunch
But it's
of-
not her fault that you don't want a say.
No, that happens in some instances. I'm just saying that the way the culture is set up, whether the man is interested or not, the way the culture is set up.
Yeah.
Can I?
And this is a numbers game.
And I'm not saying it's a hard and fast
Like 4 or 5.
example.
Right.
I'm just
It's like a
citing
lot
it
to
as
one.
one
No,
thing.
like, it's-
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we're trying to separate them completely, but the thing is, they have connections. Now, one of the great things that I like about what Sharika was asking was she made a connection between Corinthians and Genesis, and
What's
we're trying
Corinthians
to
7?
and we're trying to separate them and say to her, no, it's not the same thing, but it is the same thing, because what he's saying here in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 7 is.
What verse?
No, I'm saying the whole concept
Yeah.
of you getting married. This is not your body's not your body. Your body's not your body. This is not yours. This is not. You stay together, and the gist is stay together. Why does he have to tell them to stay together? Because back in Genesis,
Oh my gosh.
God's curse was for the benefit of procreation. And I want us to see that there is a connection. Because Sharika's right, there is a connection there.
How?
Because here he's saying, listen, you know, I myself, I can care less. I don't need to get married. But for those of you who are gonna burn in it, and do your best to stay married. You know, this is a reminder of why you're married and what you're supposed to do. And in Genesis, the reason why the curse is there is, and the curse is on the woman, because, and this is what I like. I assume, based on the fact that he didn't get much of a curse, as much as he threw her under the bus, he was still committed. You know, that's why he ate the fruit in the first place. Whereas her, I believe that if God didn't curse her to have a desire for him and to say, you know what, it's okay. This brother he drives me crazy, and you know, I'm doing some things, and he's not listening and he's not doing it. But my desire is still to be with him.
No.
God
over.
cursed.
Where's she going?
God cursed.
Where's she?
Remember,
There's two people.
There's two people,
She wants sex with Abel
or herself. Sorry,
and procreate. Like
Sorry.
she's done.
Cain
She's
left.
dead.
He went
Listen.
found his wife.
Well, that was a sister.
That's the part we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, that's the
reality
awkward
of things.
details when it's like you only have 4 people on the planet.
it's not awkward. Now that we have families and we look at our sisters, we're like, for real.
I hear you. I can't get with it though.
Yeah, and so the thing is,
The stretch. I think it's yoga.
but even reality of life, even the reality of life shows us with. I mean, like Kenrick said, these women, they're buying condos and they're saying, "Let me go on with my life." But a lot of them, if you ask them, like, "Yeah, Mr. Right didn't come along," like, what do you care? You have everything you need. You know, you don't have to be the person to procreate, but something in their mind says, "I still want a wedding. I still want a man." You know, because God put that in them. Because if He didn't put it in all of us, population would be done
And I
centuries
can say,
ago.
Kenrick, that I have seen enough friends of mine
Yes.
who go cuckoo for guys who treating them all kind of stupid.
yeah.
All kind of stupid. And they just wouldn't let this man go. Once they've given themselves to him like to a husband, something happens in their brain and they have a hard time letting go until they get to that R. Kelly when a woman's fed up point, and then they lock him off altogether.
Great
I
song.
want to kill him.
Great song.
But between then and there, there's this
Insanity.
there's this insanity that happens. That desire that happens, and I'm going, wow, look at that curse going on there.
But I guess
Look at that curse going on there.
That's what it is.
It's a curse.
But
It is, Kenrick.
So because
saying
even
Paul
in that
is saying
she's
here.
trying to change it. She's hoping he'll change.
It's all of it.
Or how about
It's all
Paul
of it.
is trying to?
She's like, I'm gonna. So I'll use your word control. I'm gonna
the Bible.
control him. I don't like to use the word control. I'm gonna help him
That is
change,
Bible.
or he's gonna change. I'm gonna hope. I'm gonna pray for him. But the thing is, it's not as easy for everyone to leave. Now the good thing is, just like men have been able to break through the commitment part, women have been able to break through the curse for some of them, to be able to, so that we're not seeing a society that's completely filled with abuse. Not completely filled, but because of sin, we would have just horrible relationships everywhere, and our children would
Even more
continue.
horrible than they are right now.
Yes, yes, and our children would see that and see it as a norm. Whereas I think our children still see abuse and neglect in our society as abnormal.
How you feeling? Settled? Good? Still disagreement, but want to leave it? What? How you feeling?
I think both have valid points.
Okay.
Yeah.
By both you mean?
Both sides of the fence.
Okay.
I definitely.
What do you think?
When I read it, I felt that I could connect now. This, as you said, the curse is playing out in its insanity. And
Did you say insanity?
Yes, so I could see if you're desiring for your husband, and a lot of people, and I tell a lot of my friends a lot of times using that word like hubby, and y'all left hands are still open, and y'all been in a relationship for like 10, 12, 13, 14 years, and y'all just think that this is okay. That's cool.
What's wrong with it?
But because you say you want to get married. And so if you say you want to get married and you desire your husband, as women, unfortunately, this is what we do. We will eventually turn you into what should be a husband without
without the commitment,
Without
with-
the official.
right? Because that's what we do. We're nurturers. We're
Without
gonna
state saying
keep
that you're
state God. I mean, God probably said it
God
right
already
because
said
y'all
if you take care of them and you have
y'all
sex with them, you're good.
right. Y'all want to
That's
make it
it.
at work, but unfortunately, whatever. Anyway, what I'm saying is simply this. As women, we are now, I can see how you desire, and it's real form, and some of the foolishness that we will accept or forgive easy. Like I'll ask men, like, yo, if the chick did that to you, would you stay? Nah. Women's like, it's okay. It's another time. I'll forgive. Yeah. That's insanity. That's a curse.
He
That's
loves
coming out.
me.
Part of a curse.
I can help him change.
Now, do we
I can
see
help him be different.
Paul addressing the curse here?
I think what Paul
And trying
is
to bring
saying
us
here,
back to
in my
original?
opinion, no, I don't know if it's original, but I
Or
think
something close to original? Because he's saying
Or
he got some letter here.
I'm
in-
saying
in
he's
verse
trying to
1.
say match each other's game, match my hustle. So what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine.
Because you also have people who have. It sounds like you got people who are sleeping around with a bunch of other people, and
Right.
not their. It was,
so don't do that.
So he's like, stop it.
Stay in your
Stop
lane,
it.
and
You're
guess
married
what?
to this one. You need to give your
she-
hardest for this one, and
Exactly.
this one needs to give the hardest for you.
And if she wants it right
Stop
now, you go
running
ahead and do
around.
that, and
Don't
fix
deprive
this.
each other, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
Isn't this a lot
But
of opinion
wait,
though?
no. But let's
No,
to what
no.
he said
Verse
first.
one.
This isn't.
Listen to what he
Not
said
all of it.
first.
Not all of it.
you said Paul is
At
opinion.
first, he
Or-
Not all of
said.
it. Some of it is mixed up. It's
No, I'm using the Bible here because I
No,
this
no,
is the
no,
book
just
right
the
now.
one. Paul's
She's
opinion.
talking about
Paul's
Paul's
opinion.
opinion.
Yeah.
Some
This
of
is
it.
that's
Some
Paul.
of it. Some of it. Some of it.
So someone wrote him a letter in verse 1 because he says the things which you wrote to me. So he's
Right.
responding
Yes.
to the issues.
Okay. And
So
and he,
yes, I guess you could
And
say
when he,
it's
when he
his
is voicing
opinion.
his opinions, he indicates as such.
Yeah.
It is good for a man to have not to have
Not to
sexual
marry.
rela-
That's his
with a
opinion.
woman.
First start.
That's
That's
clearly
That
an
is
opinion.
not
Then verse 2.
God says. This is
That's what I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
Nevertheless,
If you're gonna do it,
and he's
Exactly.
saying, and he's
stick to
saying,
that one.
But he's
And
using.
I'm not going to separate
getting
the
at his
opinion
premise
from
the
wisdom
premise is
of-
flawed.
What verse are you reading?
1 Corinthians 7 verse 1
verse 1 and 2.
and then 2. The premise is flawed.
Okay, listen.
But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife. Like, that's a bad premise.
No, what he's
But
saying
what is going on is ridiculous, though.
It's not that
But I think what is going on is so ridiculous that he has to say this. That's the thing. Like, I wish we could get one of the letters that Paul read, because I think we'd be saying like, these people done lost their minds.
Well, you
like,
see
why do
what
I
they
even
were
have to
doing.
say that? Why do I even have to tell you this? It's kind of like that moment. You kind of see it because we look at it like we're like, dude, why does he even have to say that?
But I
That's
can
retarded.
understand.
Like,
I can understand why they do this stuff.
We do
We do know why they do this. I mean, if you think about the
today.
Grecian history, if you
Exactly.
think about the Egyptian history, they're all about this life. And so they are
Temple
embedded.
prostitutes.
They're
becoming
embedded in
church
this
Never watched
system.
Spartacus?
Huh?
Never watched Spartacus?
Oh, I mean,
Imagine those people going to church.
And they trying to change
no,
their life.
first of all, I love David. I embrace this.
I mean, like someone who's a temple prostitute.
But what I'm
Like,
saying
temple
is, it
prostitute
makes
who's now a
sense if you
Christian.
think about that culture,
Like, come on
that
now.
these people are now
Exactly.
trying to change their life.
Exactly.
And they're still in it. Like, my neighbor is still carrying on, but like, yeah, you coming through?
Right.
And I'm like,
Like literally, my neighbor has invited me to the orgy.
to come through, and I usually do. And now I'm saying,
And now I
well,
gotta say no, but I want to say yes because
now I gotta stick with this one dude.
Just marry him.
No, not just marry him.
Well, they already marry all of them.
Not just
See, that's the
marry
problem.
him.
You can't.
they were marrying a bunch of people that he addresses
is
there
that wrong?
too.
That's what he was
No, but he was saying not just marry him. Stick to this
Sorry.
one.
He's saying,
with
and
this
he
one.
said it's good if you don't marry. He said, so for those of you who say, you know, it's
Doesn't
okay to be
say
single,
you
he's
should.
like,
Some
he's
places.
saying it's good not to
Everything
marry.
you do, it
But
causes
if you are
problems.
having sex, then you need to pick a wife, get married, and that's how you do it. That's what he's saying. There's so much
Stick to the
immorality
one.
That's it. Y'all need to stick
and
to the one.
morality going
That's
on
what
that you're
That's what
trying
he's
to
really at.
you're
Stick
trying
to
to
the one.
separate. You're trying to
And
separate
whatever
the
it
fact
takes to
that
stay stuck to that one, you need to do
Do
that.
Correct.
And
Yes.
that's what it's under the guise.
and that's what
Whatever
he's
y'all
saying.
need to do to stick together as the one, do
Yes.
that.
Have a conversation.
Work it out.
Work this out.
Choose wisely.
Fight
As a matter
through.
of
If
fact-
you don't want to do it
No,
tonight,
before you do
put on a
that,
smile
before you
and
do
be
that,
like,
have many conversations and see who's down for what.
right.
Then pick that one and make that happen.
Because Paul's thing is always unity. Keep the believers together.
That only conversation?
Yeah.
Only conversations.
Converse, discuss the possibilities, pick one,
Y'all are
and stick to that
very
one.
Oh man.
And then he has to talk to people who are already married. So he's talking to single people who are just all over the place, and then he's talking to married people who are looking for outs. You can't.
Some of them already had outs.
Because we've been doing
But,
that out.
but
Exactly. It wasn't an out for them.
But their culture permitted that it wasn't an
It
out.
wasn't out.
Yeah.
Because they, in that
You're right.
culture, I can be, well, actually, it was the other way around.
I know.
You would be married to me, and for real, you can go to the town square and get the little boy and do all that you wanted to do, and
would go
it
with
was
the
permissible.
I know.
We're just gonna stick with one.
You keep it with your wife. You
No,
just
no,
gotta get a
but
wife.
it
I
was
mean-
completely permissible.
Nobody
Boy,
was
that's
asking any questions back then. It was okay.
And it was
Exactly.
okay, and it was
Exactly.
like, hey, whatever you want to do, but it was like, and then the wives would get mad and be like, oh, you want to do that? So
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
go
to
do me.
withhold.
I think I need to read this chapter again. Because while I understood that was the culture,
I'm not.
I didn't realize it was.
It's
So
heavy.
No, I'm just want to
No,
read through the
we're gonna
lens
watch
of
Spartacus
that's
again tonight.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
Watch
That was
episode of
actually-
Spartacus and then read the chapter.
We have our Bibles out and everything.
Just,
And then, but think about it
it's
though.
like a case
City,
study.
right?
It's a case
It's
study.
a
That's
port
exactly what
city.
it
Case
is.
study.
Think about it. It's a port city.
Everything
Port cities back
that-
then are like how they are now. Your New Yorks, your San Franciscos, your Miamis. Like
DC.
it's gonna be crazy.
Like the ladies literally carved their name in the bottom of their shoe and walked through the street. So if you wanted to find that chick, you just followed her footsteps to
Wow.
her house.
Wow.
Too much cement now. It would
Yeah,
But what
muddy.
but what I
It's
can
muddy
say
back
that
gosh.
we haven't really
Not funny.
picked up
That's
on
not funny. That's not funny.
was the severity of the union. So like not only is Paul saying pick one, he's saying by
Pick
any
one.
means necessary,
Stick
stay
together.
with that
Pick
one.
one and stick to it.
And like he
Pick it and
goes
stick it.
further, and he's like, even if she's not a believer, but she decides to live in your house,
So
That's
this
on you.
isn't love.
this is
With it.
That is love.
It is love.
it's
That's
a
what love
choice.
actually
You're
is.
choosing.
It's a
When
Christian love.
I say, yeah, that's
It's a Christian love.
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
missionaries.
There you go.
And that's what's so disgusting.
So, but I'm saying, no, I'm saying it's love. I'm saying it's love,
Commitment.
but it's not.
Love is my
Affection.
choice.
It's not affection.
It's not feelings and affection.
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's
That's
a
what-
choice because then when we get to 13, chapter
That was it.
1 Corinthians, and it says, love is
Is.
patient and kind. Love is not jealous. And it goes through all these attributes, and he's writing this collectively to the married people, like, make it work, boo, and then to the church members. Like, these are universal foundational principles that he's trying to pull these people back from their marriages where I want to wander and I want to do whatever I want to do. But then for the church members who are fighting and can't get it to work together, it's like, this is what you build on. If you build your marriage on this, if you build your relationships between people on this, this is Jesus.
Right.
This is love.
It's like the church. Don't worry about the church. Get your house in order. You get your house and these Christian principles in your house, then it will shine out in our church community. And then we don't have to worry about all these things coming in, and we have to write these letters to tell you guys.
And
like,
it
what you're
says,
doing all the
and then
time.
it makes
That's
it
like
like when we're talking about the warpedness of what their society, it says it is not irritable.
What verse are you?
Sorry, 13, 5.
7:13?
Yeah.
1 Corinthians
Chapter 13.
Chapter
Oh,
13.
Chapter 13.
Yeah. Chapter 13, 5. It says it is not rude. It does not demand its own way. So then, Sharika, it is actually going back to Genesis.
Yeah.
Like, because you're willing to work together, like you were saying, right? You willing to work together. It doesn't demand its own way. It's not irritable. It keeps no record of wrongdoing or being wronged. So even though your spouse wandered on you, you're willing to say, I love you so much. I'm not willing to keep bringing that up over and over again and hang
not
that
what it
over
says.
your head.
That's not what it says.
It is.
And it keeps no record of being wrong. It does say
Very
that.
much say that.
It very much says
But in the
that.
same breath, there are rules for divorce.
Always protect, always trust, and always hope. Always protect. It does say that.
There are rules for divorce, though. So when they keep doing that, you can leave.
But it's just it's like he has
You
these
can
like
divorce them, but it's like,
crescendos
I think that's
almost.
He does.
And then this is like one of those moments, it's like love is. Like he goes through all this intense stuff and he's trying to drive home these points to them. And he says, but don't forget, this is what shapes the foundation of everything that you were doing.
Word.
Yes.
Word.
Yes.
You good? Alright. Kenrick, talk to me. What stood out to you this week? What did you wrestle with?
So I like the New Testament better than the Old Testament.
What?
What?
Yeah, cause it's newer.
It is
But
what
it's-
is
You didn't like all the gangster stuff was happening?
No,
That's
that's what I'm saying.
Judges
But-
Literally, I'm gonna stab you.
Shank.
So I
Like
like.
it's so big that
No,
the
yeah.
handle gets lost.
Left hand shank.
No, So, all right. So
Sorry.
I
didn't-
typically like that, and I usually stay there. But for the past few weeks, I've really enjoyed Joshua and Judges.
Okay. Why-
Yeah, because
why
the
did you-
handle, like the
That's
joint, yeah.
You didn't think to check the other hand? Like, come on, yo.
And they're like, he's left-handed. I was like, what's the big deal? Oh.
They killed left-handed
You-
people back then. I don't know.
No, it was cool. So I liked it.
What did you like?
I liked. So I looked at Gideon in a whole new way.
Yeah, they make him seem like he's great, but he's not.
So the thing about
He's a lightweight friend,
the
like-
thing about Gideon that's
He's on
just
something.
weird to me is that God is bent over backwards just to make this dude happy. I'm just like, yo, like stop asking questions.
Why do you think that was?
So I don't know why it was, but one of the notes I put in there, it was like,
You wrote the Bible?
huh?
You finally wrote it?
I write in my Bible. That's why I can't do that thing. because so one of the notes I put in there was how God looks at us. He deals with us individually. So I was comparing him to how God dealt with David, how he dealt with Moses, even though Moses is a whiner.
Gideon ain't much different.
No, Gideon's not much different, but I give Gideon a little bit more because of everything that was going on.
Gideon was corrupt from day one. It was a corrupt dude.
Well, everybody was corrupt.
Everyone,
I'm not
no one was
saying
standing
just.
strong, it
I'm
seems
not
like.
saying.
I get what you're saying though, because of his environment,
Right,
even what he
That's
was
what-
doing
yes.
in his dad. Like his dad had altars and idols.
Exactly. Like you
So
were
you
in
give
this.
him a little bit more. That's why I was saying God kind of looks at
Right.
us individually.
And that time, though, like the people were weak. They found Gideon hiding, right in chapter 6, verse 11. Hiding in the what does it say? In order to hide, he was in the wine press. He was threshing wheat. So like God's people had to hide to try and make bread. Like the issues were that bad.
He wasn't God's people though.
No.
But like you're
he was
hiding.
God's people, but he was
But
like
officially they're God's people. They've kind of lost their way, right? They have lost their way.
They lost their way.
it's like
But it's to the point where you're hiding to even just make some bread.
Yeah,
I make
because you're
no
so
judgment.
scared.
I
You're
make
so
no
shook.
judgments on anybody,
Right.
But I had to find a case study example.
Mhm.
It's like you know your boy Fife Dog, right? Rest his soul, rest in peace, all that good stuff. You know he used to be a church boy, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like while he's on tour, God comes and says, "Hey, I need you to come and do something for me." It was that kind of dynamic. He wasn't. He's God's people, but he's not really God's people.
Yeah, that's what
In
you're saying.
name, in genetic
He's
genealogy.
culturally
Genetically,
Culturally,
he is.
Yeah,
Culturally
genetically.
Jew.
Yeah, he's
They're in this land because Abraham listened.
Yeah.
But his heart and his mind
Exactly.
was not God.
Because of
Definitely.
The environment,
His environment,
Yeah,
and
he
the,
was. He just
the
wasn't
going
doing
back
that.
and
Who is God?
looking at all of that, you realize that's why I made the point. Like God looks at us individually,
But
clearly
They should
based
have
upon where
avoided
we
this.
are,
They sure could have.
and he's simply trying to get us into the position of respect, and that's kind of where he was. That's kind of where he
I
was
like
going
that.
going with him. He kept trying to get him. So that's why he, all right, yes, all right, I'll do
All
this.
right, bring the curry goat.
I'll do this. And- yeah, like all of that.
but Judges starts off in a way where it's like, all right, which of the land we trying to get right now, son? All right, we're gonna go after Judah. You help me get mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you get yours. Cool. Like they started off right, but then they just started killing less and less and driving out less and less. It was kind of like they became
like
Lot's
them.
wife.
We
They
like
started
them.
to be like,
But the papers aren't that bad. The other thing you realize, and it's almost like, I don't want to say it.
do it,
No, don't say it.
do it.
So it's almost like now with my black folk,
Uh-oh.
they needed a leader, right? And we don't have someone. You don't have your Malcolm. You don't have your Mark. Like now, everybody,
it's dispersed.
it's dispersed, and like nobody has any allegiance to. And they had a leader, and
No real
the
direction.
judges kept trying to get them to like
Right.
focus. Like
Yeah.
I'm just judging. Like you have a guy. I think Gideon said that.
Right.
So Moses is gone. Joshua's now gone.
And all the
there's
people
a
that were
void.
just those time were
There's a
gone.
vacuum, and nobody, if nobody fills it, then it's going to be because he was the one that was Joshua was the one that was like, no, you got to stay here. We're going to go fight. No, we're going to consult God. We're going to do all these things.
Right.
He kept them going. Now
Well,
there's no
this
one
is
there.
why, like in chapter 3 of Judges, it says, "These are the nations that the Lord left in the land to test those Israelites who had not experienced the wars of Canaan. He did this to teach warfare to generations and Israelites who had not experienced battle." And it goes on to say, these people were left to test the Israelites, to see whether they would obey the commands the Lord had given to their ancestors through Moses.
I highlight that. I thought that was deep.
I read that, and it's like, you go through, you read certain books so many times, and it's like that stood out.
I never even read it before.
Why did it stand out?
To know that God like intentionally kind of like left these to see, like, I've given you Moses, I've given you Joshua, I've given you these strong examples of leaders.
Swim.
And now swim. You're in the deep end now. Let me see what you can do. Are you going to vacillate, or are you going to be totally sold out for me? And to see, are you going to obey the like, did I give enough to you? Because I think I did. I think I've given enough to you. Let me see what you're about to do. And do you constantly need, which kind of comes back to like today, do you, like me, my personal life, do you need example after example of God doing this, providing this, or are you just going to faithfully follow day in and day out, regardless if you get all these things that you want? Or are you going to say, you know what, I'm going to go do it this way, I'm going to go be shady, I'm going to do underhanded business deals because I want to get wealthy quick, or I'm going to do all this other type of stuff? That's our form of Canaanites.
On top of that, I think it's also God's like, y'all been practicing on your own out in this wilderness. I've let y'all stay out here and I've shown you so many things. It's like when you think of like the way ninjas train, or the way a lot of the senseis train, it's like one-on-one. All right, now you out here in the battlefield. What, are you gonna remember that you duck and you do this and you do that, or are you gonna crawl under the pressure that, oh my gosh, I now have new people, I don't know what to do, he's bigger than me?
And like, I've given you enough examples where your muscles should be strong enough now. So you might have not encountered this giant before, you might have not encountered these group of people before, but I've given you enough examples to know this is what I've done for you in the past. I can take care of, if you follow me, I can take care of
like,
this.
there's
for
nothing
you too.
there's nothing that they couldn't do that I haven't done to you before.
Exactly.
I've killed you, I've swallowed you up in the ground, I've done everything
Literally.
that is
But that's
imaginable.
but that was the thing. So there was at this point, there's a huge disconnect, because all those people that got swallowed up in the ground, of course, are not there. So there's like the whole new generation.
No, but even
that's
so,
never, and one of the things he said is like,
You're supposed to be the
you've
good ones.
never fought. You've never. I've given you guys.
But it's
peace.
not even that I haven't fought. It's like saying, oh well, I know my parent. I mean, if I never been to Jamaica, it doesn't matter. I know they came from there. I know where you came from.
Yeah,
The
but
stories
you
are
don't know
still
what
being told.
But you don't know Jamaican.
Yes, I do.
No, but I'm
Not-
saying
not you.
Not you.
No. She's like, oh, I am. You don't recognize.
Whole different conversation about
Yeah,
this.
you know.
No, it's not personal. No. What I'm saying, maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm a little different. But like, for example, take my friends this week. A friends of mine got into a really bad car accident. Like, if I show y'all the car, they shouldn't have lived. And it was enough for me to be like, bro, whatever you do with your life, tomorrow's not promised. Like, just not do that anymore. Let's just hold the steering wheel tight and keep going. Like,
But that's the point.
they have
weren't-
those
not
stories.
everybody's
I wasn't
like that.
there.
But not everybody is like that. And so what he's saying is, what he's right here, he's telling them, and he kind of even walked them through it. Like, this is the reason why I'm doing this. You guys didn't experience this. You're the new generation.
So if that's the case, then that makes God seem unfair. If that's the case,
Why?
then I should. If you weren't there in the training camp, and you didn't experience the training camp, and I'm acknowledging that you didn't experience the training camp, then I don't throw you out to war. That makes it unfair. Then I should put you back in the training camp, and that's not what happened.
But the thing it's less of a training. It's not a throwing out into war, but giving you just enough war to practice.
It's giving
Because
It
if you
doesn't
don't
mean they
practice,
weren't
you won't
But
know.
It didn't mean they
Exactly.
weren't trained. It didn't mean that the previous generation didn't train
Didn't
you.
pass
They
on.
You
were
just
doing the
haven't
sensei.
seen.
They were doing all
Yeah,
that. They
you just
had
haven't
the
seen combat experience.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you weren't trained how to duck and dodge and how to do
And then
this.
if you look at a lot of the stuff, like if you go through Joshua and you go through Judges, like a significant portion of those fights weren't necessarily them like hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
It was more.
Spiritual.
God.
Well, it was more God.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm not going to fight and start throwing jars.
Like for real.
Like I was
Or
not-
sing around,
or
run
sing- yeah,
around
that's
the
not-
city
I'm
and
not saying
So-
hand-to-hand combat. That's not what I'm saying. Because if we go as far back as we know, it's been gods against gods.
Gotcha.
You know, so Moses threw down his rod, they threw down their rod. It is what it is.
Snakes, yeah.
This is normal for them. I show up with jars, you show up with sticks. All of a sudden, all of us is dying. I bet we know this ain't just us.
Right.
That's not abnormal for them.
John.
For us, it
I
might
see what you're
be.
saying.
But this is their life.
Right.
It's
They're
always
only
been
there because of the abnormal.
exactly.
Right.
That's abnormal. Like they all knew that this wasn't sword to sword. This is God
But
against
it
God.
wasn't just sword to sword because there were some sword.
No, but what I'm saying is they know false God versus real God. They know spirits versus spirits. So even though we want to say there wasn't hand to hand, they know that life. They're about that life, which is why they keep chasing after these other gods because they can see. Wait a minute.
but I think
God gives them that.
But I think it tags. I think it goes back, and we talked about it, months and months ago when we dealt with Moses. It goes back to the fact that you see when you don't have someone leading them, they fall off. It's not even that they've got this relationship with God and they fall off. They have to have someone there who is going to essentially be their relationship.
They either
Their
need
conduit.
someone or a image of something.
Yeah.
Or an image
Remember
of
how that
something.
went.
Something. They need something in between. They need something
Because of where they're at.
because
But they were like that. As we continue to read, you'll see that they're that way the whole
time.
Which is, and I
So
saw
you
it
never
when I-
got it.
Then it
I saw
goes
when
back
they-
to what Kenrick's saying, like, God is desperate to bend over backwards to meet you where you are.
yeah.
Like,
I was
Yeah.
I'm agreeing, but I was just going to make the point that it makes Jesus now more. It makes the coming of Jesus and the kingdom of heaven make more sense now to me, because since that's the bent of humans,
they need someone.
they need a
Right.
king, and David is like that foreshadowing of him, and so it just
Then
makes
it
more
goes-
sense.
Do
Yeah.
they need a king, or does God's will need to be fulfilled?
A little bit of both.
Chris Ross said they need a leader.
No. What I'm saying is, Jesus had to come out the line of David. Who
Oh.
had to come through Saul. So he didn't have to give them anything. He had. If God wanted to play this role, and I'm just saying logistically, I have a mission to fulfill, and y'all little pawns are gonna have to help me because I need Saul to be established so that he could screw up, so that David can come through, and I can bring my son through this line, because that's what I said I'm gonna do.
Well, yes, but I wasn't talking about Jesus necessarily the individual. I was talking about the role of the Messiah, the role of the King, the person who sits at the right hand of God, who is reigning
He never
over.
wanted to give them that from day one.
Well, yes, he did, because when you go
Well,
back
they
to
were longing
Genesis
for
3,
it. They were longing for it.
when you go back to Genesis 3, you know,
Exactly.
after they fall in the garden, he promises that
The
that guy
Messiah,
is coming.
yes.
This is the whole story of that. And then when
and
Abraham,
Eve is excited because she thinks she
Every
has
kid.
birthed.
Every kid is going to be the Messiah.
Exactly.
right, and then when Abraham comes now and he's called, he's told that the whole nations will be blessed because of him. So that it's following the story to this guy. And then if you just like watch Revelation now at the coming down to the end of the story, it's showing the crowning of this guy, his
Right.
arrival of this figure, who is Jesus. But I was talking more about the role and not the individual.
No, and so I thought you were stretching, but it makes sense.
Everybody yoga in?
Yeah, like I'll put yoga pants on now. So because it makes sense in that Jesus did come and fulfill that leadership role, and now that leadership role isn't necessarily held by some human.
Right.
Like he's human, but he's not. But
Yeah.
like by a human
Right.
or somebody that
He has
you
the
can
benefit of both
physically
roles.
see. Yes, but now it's actually someone who he came, he died, he lived again, and now he's ready to save you and take you back home, and that changes the entire
Right.
game.
But we're back to where
And
they were.
and this person's not leaving anymore.
Yes.
But we're
as
back
opposed
to
to
where
like
they
a-
are.
But we're
Joshua
acting like he
or,
didn't come and do
Right,
all
we're
that
back
you
to
just
where
said.
they're at.
And
Was that
we,
again?
We're right where
We're-
they
No,
are.
I know.
and-
I agree. That's what.
Yes, we're living almost in the Judges period.
Yes,
I'm
it's
sorry.
that all makes
We are
sense.
straight judges.
we're Gideon. And we like,
Except that we are aware that the king exists, and there is a king, and there is a king, there is a kingdom, and we are subjects of the kingdom.
Right.
Or at least we're bringing
So
people.
we've
That
been
make us
told.
worse.
That makes it
Yes,
worse.
so
does that make us
the consequences for
You're a hater.
Huh.
Carry on.
Well, we're like the church. Like the church is female, right? Eve like desire. Like that's just biblical.
No.
That was Holy Spirit driven.
Holy Spirit. I like that. Blame God. Can't argue with that. Blame God.
Yeah.
That's Holy
No,
Spirit.
I think what you're saying. You're saying that we are aware.
Which is worse.
We've been told.
Well, no, yes and no.
No,
And let me even
no,
clarify. When you are made aware of the sacrifice that God has made for you by sacrificing His Son to get you in rightness with Him, and that He is now has been established as the King. He's now been given this authority. He's now given second to God at the right hand of God now. So he's in charge. He's like Joseph in Egypt. You know, nobody is greater than me in this land except the Pharaoh. Right? I am now the man calling the shots. I am the Lord of this land, of this kingdom. When you understand that you are invited to either pledge your allegiance or not. So once you decide you're going to pledge your allegiance, knowing that this guy is real, he lives, he exists, he's not dead, which is why the disciples were given the charge to testify that I saw him alive, why there were 500 people or so who saw him alive, and why they were willing to die, because they were like, we did see him, it wasn't something we made up. And that he will return. It's just like he's not here, but he's still around, and he sent the Spirit to be my communion, to be my almost like my manager, my Lord, my overseer in the until he comes back, because they're one. Then it's not that we've been told. You get to have that experience with him. You're aware that he's here, and you choose whether to accept him as king or not.
And the crazy thing is, we can go through experiences where we experience him, and then we end up back again.
Yeah.
We have moments in our lives where like, I'm hiding, doing my little Russian thing.
And we've
had our fleece though. But we've had our fleece moment, and we've had our jars moment. We've won the battle, and we kind of like, a couple years later, next trouble.
But I do understand it. You know why I understand it? It's like bring it to real life terms. At my age, I have seen
Y'all the worst.
I've seen so many wonderful things that God has done, right? And yet, there are times when, if I'm supposed to do something, I'm like, listen, I don't really want to do that. And it's not, that I think God is not all powerful. It's that I really don't want some of the things that he wants for me, because it's not as much fun. And can I be honest? It's not as much fun. Sometimes you have to go through pain. Sometimes you have to smile at someone you really want to punch. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to turn the other cheek, and it's just like, where did that even come from? You know what I mean? And it's not that we don't have faith in God. We know that God is all-knowing, and because we don't know what the outcome is, we don't want to go through some of the things that we know he'll allow us or want us to go through to make us stronger. Like someone says, don't pray to be humble, because then if you ask, Lord, humble me, do you know some of the things that God can put you through to humble you? You know, how many embarrassing situations where you're just like, this is not that deep. When you get to the point where certain people have gotten to their 80s and they're just like, oh, just God is wonderful, I love Jesus. Yeah, you've been through so many embarrassing things that you could care less, that if you take your teeth out and put them on the table, because it's not that deep compared to some of the things that you've been through and God allows you to go through.
What else stood out to you, Karen?
Just notes I had. That helped have experience with God. We touched on that. That was it for there. For Judges.
You have two left people? You didn't ask the right person?
About to ask Taylor now.
Hey man.
Tell me one thing that stood out to you from the meetings this week. One thing that
You're holy dog.
Do you use dollars to mark your butt?
That's my perceptive.
I touched on it earlier. Just this whole concept of love.
okay.
And how profound it is. One time I was doing something and this one person told me, read 1 Corinthians and I'm in 2 Corinthians. Read this love chapter every day for like a month and see what happens in your life and how you...
Did you try?
I did.
And what happened? Did you fight?
You got married? Is that when you got married to me? Is that what happened? Slow clap for myself.
She's like,
It actually happened after
Wow.
we got married.
she's like, I needed that.
I needed that. But it
You want to
was...
read the love chapter?
Yeah, I
Right?
want to take credit for that.
No, it was just growing up, you hear this, and we oftentimes recite it at weddings, and we think it's between husband and wife, and you know do this and do all this other type of stuff. But it changed my perspective when I read it in light of all of both 1 and 2 Corinthians, and you keep seeing the foundation that Paul is trying to build with these people, and how profound it is that when we were going through, of course, our premarital counseling, it was love is not just an emotion, it's a decision that you make every single day. And just like you're making a decision for Jesus every single day, it's not an emotional reaction. You are deciding to say in certain moments, I'm going to be patient, I'm going to be kind. And it just is just how you to believe Jesus is to love other people it will deepen and it will widen when you have this framework, and it puts things into perspective.
How have you changed?
How did I change?
How have
I
you
like
changed?
you. I like that.
As a result of that, like month, or even that awareness, or is it that's something you just got this week?
No. It was just looking at people differently, as not an agitation,
Okay.
as like, hey, I'm going to, regardless, and even in, roles and responsibilities, when you want, and honestly, is it okay to say I'm a pastor on here?
Sure.
Okay.
You can't look at people. You can't be agitated with people.
God, Jesus flipped tables.
Well, he flipped tables.
He sure did.
Yes, he did. But it's how he engaged. He flipped the table, but didn't flip the person. If that makes sense. But it was like even within pastoral ministry, when you want somebody to sometimes do something your way within leadership, or you've got two separate or multiple groups in your church, and you're trying to get folks to work together, and it's off of theological fallout, and then you go back to Paul, and he's like, your prophecy, your speaking in tongues, all the knowledge, to have all this special knowledge. And it kind of reminds me of, honestly, within our Adventist culture, how people will beat each other over the head over, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. But it doesn't mean a hill of beans if you don't do any of that with love. So it's instead of start with love and then work backward into the special knowledge.
I got you.
And just to frame that for everything that I'm doing in my life, how I live, how I treat people, how I interact. And it is a choice. And in those moments when, I am agitated, when I am whatever, it's, okay, Lord, I need you to bring out this in me.
That's good. That's good. I want to ask one question before we transition towards a close. And I noticed it before, but something about this time, it was a little bit different. That the people became enamored with the gods of the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Jebusites, all these people. And it made me stop and ask, what are the gods of the people around me? What are the gods of this age? Because it's not like you do have people who have idols and they have these worship services, but you don't have as much of that now. Right. But there are still gods, and I was curious to ask, and maybe you guys can chime in, as you reflect on the world around you, what are some of the gods that we become, or that are gods of the people around you, around
my God is that I constantly have to battle is it's just like hard work. Like I just believe, like there are times like I think I've told people that, like I just think that I can get it done. Like I can get it done. Like I can get it done. And so my thing is, so there are times when I don't even consult God or talk to God about it because
you got it.
I can get it. And so, but that's society. Like it's like you go out, pick yourself up by the bootstraps, get it done. We teach that to our kids. It's work. It's tenacity. No one's gonna give it to you. You got to go out there and take it. Like it's that type of thing. And so, to a certain extent, I think that mindset and that mentality is a God to me, and I'm constantly battling and fighting that to where I've been very intentional over the past probably a month or two to really just like, okay, Lord, like I'm actually going to ask you about this, and I'm gonna see what you can do, and let's go from there. And it's nerve-wracking. It's hard because I see like 4 or 5 different ways that we can do. Like I can do it this way. I can do it this way. I can do this. It's a phone call here. It's a da da da. And it's it's also sitting back. So for me, that's mine.
I think I'm a demigod.
Well,
a dummy.
Definitely, I'm partially human, and that is my God. And we talk about this all the time. I want to co-pilot. I don't treat people any less. I will give my all to someone, but in my head, I'm part God, part human, and I behave as such. So, and sadly,
just goes back to the whole marriage desire thing. But go ahead.
Sure. Whatever. Sadly, I think because I've been through so much and have conquered so much, sometimes I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was all God. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, yeah, I'm a beast. I told you I was half human. Because some things that I've been through, most humans just physically can't take it or mentally can't take it. And it's just like, all right, cool. So that's why sometimes I get upset at God. Like, yo, son, we here. Like, there's you, Jesus. Then there's me. And everybody else down here. Because we basically tag team to show everybody that,
you and the Holy Spirit are kind of neck and neck.
Nah. Like, it's like,
just a little bit.
It's like this. Like, because I got to be Debbie.
But he did take a step back when it was your turn.
Right.
Nah.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm being honest to say I think sadly I look back and sometimes it hits me like, oh, we tag team, and God's like, no, we didn't tag team. Right. I just used you, and I'm not ready to kill you off yet. Like in real talk, I'm just not ready for you to die yet. I'm not done using you yet. But I think for me, there are times where I switch back to I'm half demi, like I'm demigod. And that's rough because I want a co-pilot because I feel like I earn my spot a little higher than the crew members.
You believe you can fly?
I got you.
No, I can't fly.
Some of the gods
Not like
that you see that we are enamored with, a Baal or Ashtoreth that you see in our society today.
Money, sex, power.
Maybe one that you are enamored with as well. It's a good one because you might be one of those people. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, like a phone. I just I long. And I actually tried something different. I tried something different, and it's not working. I tried to be just by myself for the past several weeks, Like I sat in a movie by myself. I
like
this
that.
It's the
stinks.
best thing ever.
It is.
But that's not who I am. That's who they are. That's not who I am. I went to like a minor depression on some of the things I was doing, and I was just like, am I really watching this by myself? I was like, I have a son who I could have snuck in here. His dad would have been so mad for him to see it,
Jesus.
but he would have enjoyed it with me, and I would have at least been with someone who, anyway.
For that.
Yeah.
But I get so agitated that I'll be talking to someone and they'll be like, hold on, and they put their phone in. I'm like, I'm talking to you. You know, like, oh, your God called. You don't even know who it is, but that was more important than the 2 more minutes that we had to. So I got to this thing. I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna just do me for a minute, because people's phones are their God. I mean, I don't think people even realize how much they're on the phone.
What's the term for it? Obsession with the phone? Have we learned it in the Yale conference that you were at?
I don't remember. It was actually it's a fear of not having your phone. Google that.
Fear of not.
I was fearful today.
Fear of being separated from your phone.
Wow.
It's an actual
It's an
condition
actual
now.
condition.
No, yeah, that's,
I bet it
I
is
need
now.
He said I need it.
2 people in the chat said TV, self, and money.
Yeah,
Money, TV,
materialism, and pride. Just
Nomophobia.
You just don't.
sorry,
Go ahead.
and just
You won. You won.
So much.
It's
we were talking about this.
Control.
Yeah.
Look at those things. Control. I'm not gonna sing a song.
no.
Well, we were having a discussion
sing
kind
on
of
this?
around the same concept of like, because in pastoral ministry, it's how big is your church, how many people attend, how often do you get invited around, and they calculate
baptisms,
how much tithe. That's the foundation. Like, you're known by these big things. How many travel invites do you get? And you're nobody if you
don't get those.
Yes. And so you will build, quote, the kingdom of God, but it's your mini kingdom because you're chasing yourself. And it's constantly pushing back against that temptation to truly be a servant leader, to truly say, I'm pushing away all of this big and honorariums, honestly. Like, how the trash are you going to charge somebody to preach the gospel for $5,000 and rack up on
it all wrong.
right?
I mean,
Jesus never charged, the disciples never charged, and so it's literally pushing against that mentality and saying, I'm not going to succumb to that, because that's the stuff that we don't talk about.
Control, man. Control. And just,
So you're a demigod too?
yeah, I'm honest with myself.
You should see him around the house. Like, he'll put one leg over.
Women obey me. Get out of the house. I'm kicking you out.
And then I'm like, what do you want to eat? What do you
I think I
want?
levitated once. So.
No, you hopped really fast.
Hey, I'm messing it up. Right? I said levitate. Got that levitate. Nah, but control. I mean, I think I was having a conversation with you.
Probably.
Things
I'm
that have
glad that I can
happened
just-
in ministry in my life. Because I was like, I'm in a position now where I'm not. It's not where I would have planned to be, and I'm kind of like, Lord, I could fix this about 10 different ways. Like, get out my way. But there's something I need to learn right now. And I don't like that, going back to you. I was like, I don't want to go through this process. I've been there, done that. I don't want to go through this growth thing right now. I'm kind of done with this. And then I got to the point, and she kind of had to, like, slap me upside my head. I was like, if I had tooted my own horn back when I was on the West Coast, I could have, like, the pick of whatever the heck I wanted right now. If I had called and put every time, I won't use the term that I use.
This is not a family show.
Can I?
This is not a family show.
So I said, like, if every time I farted and I would say, hey y'all, it's gold, woo, and made a big deal about it, I was like, yeah, I could probably have whatever I wanted right now, but I chose not to, and it's kind of like, it bothers me because I'm like, I control the demigod status. I was like, Lord, I could have fixed this already. Like, what am I supposed to learn here? Clearly, humility. Clearly. who you telling. Clearly,
But you didn't
that's
ask for it, right?
Sure didn't.
See,
I didn't ask
that's
for
what
this
I'm
one.
saying.
I was like, I didn't even ask for it, Lord.
So-
I'm like, come
It's
on.
okay.
So that's my
I
follow-up
asked
question
about it.
as we close.
Cut the feed.
And the camera goes sideways.
Stay unmarried.
Seeing as we live amongst the Canaanites, so to speak, and I'm not, trying to judge anybody. I'm just, using the imagery.
Go ahead.
I'm using the imagery from what we've been reading. How do we keep from being like the Canaanites?
It's hard, man.
It's hard.
From allowing that influence to
I don't have
come
an
in.
answer.
Especially when you have some Canaanites who you smarter than, and they're just making it. It appears they're just making it. You're just like, this is some foolishness, man. Like, this person can't even figure their way out of a wet paper bag dropped into the ocean.
It's hard.
Balling out of control.
But I
So,
think-
I'm so done. Yeah, I need a moment.
Personal moment.
Like, for real.
Woosah. I for me, it's having that group of friends and those really close people that you can lay all your dirty laundry before and say, and honestly, you gotta have like spiritually minded friends who are on the same page as you and who you can just, I want to say,
Vent.
lay all your bare.
You
And
don't use a female dog.
no,
Trash.
The other one.
yeah,
Passing.
Yeah.
Release.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let all of it bare, and then
Man, my
let them hold you
100%.
accountable.
Yeah.
world is hiding. If there was a word, sorry.
That's the Lord working on you.
Yeah.
I didn't even know where you.
Yeah, it was like, but just so that you can have that honest transparency, because when you feel you can hold it down on your own, that's when you start to mess up. That's when you start to not be genuine and say, I got this, God. But when you can have people who are like, you're just like in the sinking ship with the rest of us, what we were talking about.
I got you.
But it's hard. It's a struggle. It's no joke.
Shanice?
And we have to find ways to encourage each other, because whenever your hands are dirty, sometimes you just want to hide them or wash them and no one know. But the truth about being in Canaan is Canaan's a lot of fun, and Satan made it like that so that we would ditch God. Because the grass always seems so much greener, but we don't see what kind of grass it is. That is weeds. Do you know what I mean? And
Or crushed up beer bottles.
or crushed up beer bottles.
Wine
It's
bottles.
sparkly.
Yesterday.
Wine bottles.
And to encourage one another is really challenging, because like we said, we have different personalities, and so as Christians in Canaan, for you to know when to pick up the phone, when to say something, when to step back, it's still a really hard. I find it very hard to strike that balance, and just to know to encourage someone to keep going in a positive manner goes a long way.
Did you have a suggestion on how not to get caught up in the gods of Babylon?
I'm not as social as most. So like, good and bad. Like, I'm not gonna call you. I'm sorry. I'll call somebody, but no, I'm not calling nobody. I'm more likely to talk to myself in the mirror and get it out that way than I am to call someone. If I call you, I may just tell you the story. I don't tell you how I feel about it, type of thing. It is what it is. Most people can't read through that, but I can tell you a good story and never tell you how I'm affected. How does it work for me, however? I think God caps me. So like, I stay out of Canaan because he won't open a door for me to go past this city spot or past this next spot. Like, it's just not physically. This is where my demi part comes in. I physically can't get where I want to go because he's just blocked me in.
That's the human part.
And yeah, that's the part that is like, what the heck? Because I stay on a little. If I could stay on an island, I would. I would just stay over here, and it'd be like, okay, whatever. I'll just build my own mansion on this island, and you can swim over sometimes, or I can push you off. Like that's just how it is. But
You send a boat to get me?
I stay out of Canaan simply because I'm just not allowed to go to Canaan. Whether I don't have the money, or I don't have the emotional strength, or I don't have enough spiritual fight to do it. Whatever it is, he's just like, you're stuck.
He's hedged you in.
Right, it just hedged me in. So that's for all the
You
the
got a
true
hedge around
introverts.
you, keeping you from.
Literally. And I don't realize that it's helpful until I realize why I wanted to go out to Canaan. Because my intent for going out there is probably, in my head, good. But once I get boxed in enough, and I get frustrated, and we finally talk about it, he's like, you didn't even want to go out there for the right reason.
Lorraine says, do constant honest self-check. If not, you may find yourself in a place you never thought you would, using Christ as your comparison and not other people around you. You may not have anyone to share dirty laundry, but you have God, and He already knows your stuff.
Yes.
So
That's true.
the talking is more for your benefit than for Him.
Very good.
Yeah, those were just some of the things I was wrestling with this week. You know, what are the gods of Canaan or Babylon that are out there? I was having trouble identifying them.
What's yours?
The god of Canaan that is out there is you have to provide. You have to be the provider. As a man, you're the provider. As opposed to being a servant of God who provides and shows you how to acquire the things. You know, like you read the story of the people going into the promised land. He promised them the land and He said, I've given it to you. But they still have to go and take it. And so your role is in the context of what He is given. You know, and to me, one of the things that the gods say is that you have to own it. You have to take it. It's all about you, and it's you. And it's being, for me, the God that I tend to want to worship is take charge, take control, take ownership, and go get it. Because what He's asking you to do is not going to feed you. You're going to go hungry if you listen to Him. And so, you know, when you look at the Canaanites living down the street, and you know that they don't have any mind of God, but they have 401ks, and the children go into private school, and
No struggle.
and they drive in 2-3
Luxury
cars, and
Luxury car.
they could go on trips, and you know, and He's saying, I need you to do this here, right here, but if you do this right here, you just have to trust me to take care of what
Farther
you
away
need.
from there.
You ain't gonna have all that other stuff.
So, you know, it's just sometimes it gets tiring getting up every morning and seeing the little bit of oil in the jar. Now, it never gets empty, but it's always a little bit. And whenever there's extra, it's because there's a lean period coming, and the extra is just for the lean period. Because it's not like, okay, we're starting to build up the oil and the jar is going to be full.
We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
No, it's never that. You get extras because there's a lean period coming. Hold on to it. Don't make any rash movement.
And that's like the future provisions.
Right. So that's the God that I see that I want to set up a pole towards in my own life. You know. But I just wanted us to think about it. You know, because you know there are all kinds of things that are asking for us to serve them, and sometimes it's not as easy in our society because we don't have idols that we're worshiping to see the similarities between ourselves and the children of Israel. And because I was noticing that every time the Bible said they did evil in the eyes of the Lord, it all started with, I started to worship this God, and then the evil flows out of that. It's always out of a God that's being worshipped that the evil is, and it's like the whole story continues along those lines. All the abuse of each other, the lack of love, all the stealing and the killing and the selfishness and all of that stems from when they stop worshiping this God and start worshiping other gods, and then they descend into all kind of stubbornness, which, you know, you see Shonice's favorite story where, you know, the Lot-like story where the guy's wife gets raped and then he chops up the woman's body, and it gets that far because they were worshiping other gods. You know, And so I was just curious, how do we perceive the gods, and if we are even aware of
them.
that. I just wanted to raise that thought so us to think about it going forward. So this is the part of the show where we make sense of all that we spoke about, and we don't just make it good conversation. What of anything that we spoke about are you going home with? What is something that you're taking away and say, hey, that was for me, or that stood out to me, or that was a good reminder, or that's something I need to go with that I can use in my life going forward? What's one thing that was said here today that you're going home with? And this also for the people online, if you're watching, please share in the chat. What's one thing of all the things we talked about? Because we talked about a lot of things. We were in 1 Corinthians, we were in Judges, we talked about a lot. And I don't want this to just be idle conversation where he's like, oh, that was entertaining because Kenrick said some crazy stuff. But it has to be meaningful. It has to have some kind of value, and I want you to process it and articulate it out loud, because if you don't, sometimes we miss it. When we articulate it, we get to remember it, and it has value. So that being said, I'm gonna start with Taylor and work back around to Kenrick. What's one thing you're going home with today?
Just that God is desperate to bend over backwards to show how real He is to me and meet me where I am.
Jesus?
I like the unity thing though in Corinthians. Unity based in love, just to really try and continue to put that foot forward to love not just my wife, but just people I come across. Have that love flow out of me, because it makes a difference in all of what Paul is saying. It really does change everything. And there's a lot of situations where, looking back on the week, probably could have showed a little more love, and things probably would have ended a little differently, but remind myself to take that. And showing love doesn't mean you're a pushover. You can share your point of view. You can stand up to someone in love.
Right.
And things like that, so. Yeah.
Shanice?
That even when it seems like, or it's definitive that God puts a penalty or a curse on us, it is for the ultimate benefit of us to grow into who He wants us to be, and ultimately for us to be happy. That's the reference from Genesis, connecting to with Adam and Eve, and the curse connecting to Corinthians 7 with, even though everything's going crazy around you, stay together.
Trigo?
I derived this one from what the week brought to me, so it wasn't really like a direct correlation. But I definitely need to be more patient with people. As far as we're all in Canaan, I might be in the house, but I'm still in there with you.
Looking outside.
And I say that to say, like, sometimes I think we forget, like, someone may be selfish, or someone may be just cruel, or someone just may be unthoughtful, and you're like, how do people live this way? Like, but I'm still in Canaan with you, and I'm just inside the house. Like, I'm just not as, it doesn't happen as often to me, or I have better odds to choose the right way or the wrong way, or I'm just a step ahead on a Christian path, or I seem to be, or this just isn't my trigger. But to remind self that we all still in Canaan. Like, I'm sitting in here with you, I just have different triggers, and there is a level of patience that we need to show one another, because we're all kind of in there, and I'm just gonna keep my door closed. What did you say there?
Nothing. Cameron?
So I am going to read 1 Corinthians 13 every day for a month.
What?
That's my takeaway.
Look at you.
Because I need the love.
Kendrick, you don't love me? You just told me you love me. Now you're gonna say you don't love me.
No. I love you, but I don't know if I'm patient. There's just all these things that I know, like my kids. Like, I love my kids, but they suck sometimes. So like I need to love them more. And then Jewel, well, we're not even gonna get on that. Like they're just people that I come into contact with that I just need to love.
So from now to the 21st of
Dude, don't put it
She
in.
marked the day.
She put it. She put
So
it.
you're accountable.
Ask you.
That's what they were talking about. Those people that keep you straight.
So yes, I will do it between now and
the 21st of May.
whatever.
You really
So
feel
this-
like the end of
So
the
this
day.
triggered my takeaway when she said that the reason for the curse was to keep the people together. You know, it was a curse that was meant to bring blessing of sorts. And then when Kenrick said, you know, the people needed a king or somebody to rule over them because every time they acted up, and it feels like my takeaway was the idea of lordship. I still can't escape because it is the thing. It is the thing that drives all of it. When I submit to Him as Lord, you know, whether He be God or King or somebody who's greater than me, Father, you know, I am less likely to, when I submit to Him as God, I won't go into Babylon. I won't adopt the gods of Canaan. And it's when I stop making Him Lord and I find another Lord, that's when all the problems in life come. And so I just needed to be reminded of, you know, do what He says. Faithfulness is enough. That was it, my takeaway. Faithfulness is enough. Alright, so that's us for tonight.
Is that a song?
No, it's a saying that a mentor of mine gave me. You can write a song. I'm sure you would love if you wrote the song.
Yeah, mine will rhyme as opposed to David's.
Okay.
His might have
Shots fired.
It
He's gonna
does,
defend himself.
it does have a rhythm in Hebrew.
Was that
That's what I'm
again?
saying. In
Does.
Hebrew, it might.
In Hebrew, but
It does have
might
a
rhyme in
rhythm
Hebrew.
in Hebrew.
Yeah,
English.
rhythm. There's a rhyme.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
But not all of Jay-Z's rap right?
A lot of them do.
Yeah, but not all of them.
But they're deep.
maybe half.
No, more than that.
I know.
Definitely more than half.
All right.
Okay, we're about to pray.
Thank you for joining us. Did anybody share any in the chat room?
Nothing past Lauren.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your contributions in the conversation. We just want to continue to encourage you to spend time in the Word, to get to know Jesus for yourself. That's all this forum is meant to do. It's meant to give you tools to equip you to do that and to minimize the barriers that keep you from doing it. We're on every first and third Friday. So this is the third Friday in the month. Tomorrow actually is the fourth Saturday. So we're actually on at our church in person tomorrow as well. We'll be back on the first Friday in May. The 5th of May. The next time we'll be back.
Oh, is that because?
Cinco
In-
de Mayo.
In the meantime, between weeks, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to cover. You can take advantage of the forum, Facebook. We have a group, Water for the Thirsty. Just look it up, join, and then in there you can share your thoughts. You can ask your questions. You can, we can continue the conversation there. And we're also on Instagram. We're on Twitter, but I need a social media manager to manage Twitter because Twitter is just not my thing. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how it
The
works.
thing is, you're thinking about it too much.
It's just,
Don't think about too much, dude.
but we're there too. So tweet us. Maybe I'll tweet you back. That's how
I'll
that
tweet you
Yeah,
back.
it's a
And I'll tweet you back.
That's to show how illiterate, how Twitter illiterate I am. Somebody, if you want to help me,
Twitter
hit me up. info@waterforthethirsty.com. Hit me up and we'll make it work. All right. With that being said, Eustace, would you pray for us to close?
Sure. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time that we're able to share with each other, digging your word. We thank you for your word just coming alive and finding a way to impact all of our lives. We thank you for the insights we were able to gain where curses actually end up helping us out. How far you're willing to go to save us when we seem to push you away, Lord, and not want to be bothered. Love and being patient within love and just giving ourselves to other people. We thank you for these lessons, Lord. We ask that you keep keep them close to our hearts. Allow us to internalize these things and allow us to just be an example of you when we leave this place and we come across people. Lord, we thank you for all that you've done for us, all that you're currently doing, all that you're planning on doing in our future, even the painful things that we really don't want to go through. But you at least take the time to go through those painful steps with us, and we're grateful for that. Lord, we love you, and we thank you for loving us unconditionally. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Taylor and Eustace, for joining us. We appreciate you and appreciate your insights and perspectives, and for not being pushed around by these guys, not letting them bully you around, because they tend to do that to some people, especially this one over here.
Wow. Glad we have shunned the devil.
I'm kidding. If you don't have a copy already, download a copy of the Reading Plan, Get in Your Word. It's available on your phones. There's an app in your mobile store, iOS. All you have to do is open the app and click today and do that again tomorrow. Click today and do that again tomorrow. It's that simple. You'll make it through the Bible in a year. Until the next time,
Take care of yourself.
take care of yourself. Drink up.
Drink up.
Drink up. Drink up. Drink up. It's water.
Water when I'm thirsty.
Some of us drink everything like that.
Water when I'm thirsty. You're like water when I'm thirsty.
This is Water for the Thirsty. Drink up. Hashtag Instagram, Facebook, we all there. Follow us. Tweet us. I have a mic on right now.
It's been a hard weekend. It left